Well, let me get out my soapbox because I'm about to stand on it. Let's get into it. This is Barely Keeping It Together. What's up, you guys? It's Marissa with Barely Keeping It Together, and today I am here dressed like Ruth Bader Ginsburg to talk to you all about the top 5 books that all female entrepreneurs should be reading. All right, guys, I want to talk about my top 5 books that all female entrepreneurs should be reading. By the way, they're all written by females, and then we have a bonus at the end that is not written by a female, but I wanted to include it on my book list because I loved it and I think it would be beneficial for everybody to read if they are an entrepreneur, a business person, interested in being an entrepreneur, interested in growing a business, all of the things. This is for you. Honestly, if you just want to be empowered, read these books because it's going to make your soul happy. All right, that was extreme. So let's get into it. These are 5 books that I read. I enjoy reading. I've enjoyed reading a lot more lately. I've been super into it, but I'm not like some adamant reader, but I try to read 5 to 30 minutes every night before I go to bed. So let's get into what books I have enjoyed, starting with probably the easiest and most digestible. This is called The Little Black Book. It's called A Toolkit for Working Women by, excuse me as I mess up this name, Otenga Uwagba. It is a Nigerian lady. I should know Nigerian names better, but this is just a small book. Honestly, it is 115 pages and it's super digestible, you guys. There are just small little snippets all about different topics, becoming more creative, how to act at work, getting things done, how to get promoted, money talks, things you should learn about in school. Honestly, I love this because it is just quick snippets, very easily digestible, and it gives tactical, practical advice. And you don't even have to be an entrepreneur. If you just have a job, this is going to be good for you. So this is this is coming out a little late to talk about stocking stuffers, but these would be great stocking stuffers for seriously any woman would enjoy this book. Let's get into another one. This one is the cover is a little problematic to me because it's so pink and girly and it's But this is called She Means Business by Kara Green. I love this book. I'm not sure if I've talked about it on this channel before, but I actually originally read this book as a Kindle and then I physically ordered a copy because there is so many tactical, practical things. Every time there's practical things, it says she takes action and it just walks you through sort of the step-by-step. And I wanted this as a playbook of things I could go back to. And a lot of the things that she taught me in here, I do daily. She taught about daily visualizations for 2 minutes. She talks about meditations, and then she gets into practical things too, right? About growing your audience, growing your business, those sorts of things. And honestly, it's an easy read. She's likable. Especially if you're just getting into business books, if you're not already into business book, this is a super good introduction to business books. And the reason is I think it's very digestible and it's not overwhelming. So I highly, highly recommend this book. And I think that female entrepreneurs should all read it. Now, if you are like me and you suffer from money mindset blocks, get this book. It is called Get Rich Lucky Beat. I'm not going to say it because I don't want to get demonetized here on YouTube, which would literally be the opposite of what she wanted me to do, right? She wants me to get rich. She doesn't want me to get demonetized on YouTube. So this book is all about manifestation, money mindset, and the woo-woo behind money. But the thing I love about it is she talks about this is my girl and I hope to do this for you guys. And I'd love to hear from you if I do. I'd love to hear from you if I don't, because if I don't, I guess I have something to work on. I love her because she makes the woo-woo tactical and practical, right? So she takes woo-woo and she explains it to your average Joe and makes them more spiritual and on board with manifesting and creating your own reality. And it's really, really good book. Again, she gives tactical step-by-step advice. I would advise getting a physical copy because she gives exercises as well throughout the book, and it's really, really good, all about money, and she gives you money mantras. So if you guys find that you have any blocks about money, I highly recommend this book. Now, I do think societally, well, let me get out my soapbox because I'm about to stand on it. I think that societally, the things that we have taught women about money and power dynamics are problematic and toxic. And so I think more than likely, if you are a female entrepreneur, honestly, most people, but specifically if you are a female entrepreneur or a female business person, you probably do have money mindset blocks. You probably have limiting beliefs, and maybe you haven't gone there yet. So I would highly encourage you in a loving way to examine that and potentially journal and look into money mindset and what limiting beliefs are if you're not already in that world, because it can open a whole new world for you. And this week you guys are going to have another video from me all about fitness and my weight loss journey. And for me, what that opened up, right, was it gave me the confidence to go seek and do other things. It showed me what I could do. Well, same with money mindset. It showed me where I had my limits and my own beliefs and what I could do to just like fly beyond that. So again, I highly recommend this book. This was not planned, but I'm also reading You Are a Bad A at Making Money. That's also a great money mindset book. But I wanted to point this one out because it is less common and I think I loved it more. And I really, really recommend this book. It's so good, you guys. Now, the other two books that are on my list, I do not have physical copies of because I either read them on Kindle or I listened to them audibly. Now, the first one is Big Magic by Elizabeth Gilbert. I don't know if you guys have heard about this book. Elizabeth Gilbert is the author of the famous Eat, Pray, Love, then brought to the silver screen, is that the word? With Julia Roberts. Big Magic is a short read and I highly recommend it because it is all about creativity and how it is a living, breathing thing. And the reason I recommend this book is that it teaches you an interesting lesson of to take your ideas seriously and respect them like you respect yourself and other beings, and treat ideas like living, breathing things because they didn't just come from nowhere and they came to you at a certain time for a certain reason. And Big Magic is an enlightening book. It's a short read and it's going to make you look at the world a little different. Quick story. Last week we were sitting at the dinner table and my brother shared that Dennis the Menace, fun fact, Dennis the Menace came out in 2 different newspapers on 2 different continents on the same day, not intentionally. 2 different people independently thought of a character named Dennis the Menace. They both had dogs. There was a lot of similarities at the same time. Now, you might say, what is the likelihood of that? Well, if you've read Elizabeth Gilbert's Big Magic, you would look at that and go, well, that just proves her point. That just proves her freaking point. I highly recommend Big Magic by Elizabeth Gilbert. You can listen to it. I think I want to say I listened to it on Audible and it was a great listen and it impacted me. And honestly, a lot of the books I listened to on Audible, I forgot what they were about. That's pretty sad. Okay, the last book that I want to recommend to you, well, again, you guys, you're proving me a liar here. I want to recommend it to every woman to read this book, and that is Becoming by Michelle Obama. Now, this is the story of Michelle Obama from when she was a little baby living in Chicago and growing up and becoming the wonderful Michelle Obama that we know and love today. But I loved her story because I guess there's a couple points that are important to me, right? Representation. I think that having a strong, educated, powerful Black woman as the first lady was so effing important for this country. But also her story is amazing. She's so incredibly well written and spoken, and she speaks about her life in a way that makes us realize that her circumstances aren't special. Yeah, she's had luck, but she is a hard worker, and it's just an interesting story, and it's something that will inspire everyone. Last year I gifted it to my sister-in-law's mother for Christmas. She's not a female entrepreneur. I just thought it would be an enlightening and great book for her to read. So I recommend that everybody read Becoming by Michelle Obama because it's just gonna warm your soul. It's gonna make you happy. It's gonna make you love her. God, this is like, I mean, should I change my channel name to like Obama Fan 250? I don't know. But that is my 5 books that I recommend that all female entrepreneurs should read, and they're all written by female authors. Now let's hop, jump, skip over to my 6th selection, which is not written by a female author. And that is why I was not wanting to put it on the list, but I think it's a great book and don't physically have a copy. I read it on the Kindle. And that is Shoe Dog by Phil Knight. So if you guys are not familiar with what Shoe Dog by Phil Knight is, Phil is the founder and creator of Nike. It took me a long time to read it. I mean, I don't know, I think it's like 350 pages in real life, but when you read on Kindle, by the way, it's so funny, if you guys read on Kindle, you'll know this, you don't know how many pages a book is, so you're like, am I moving slowly or is this a long book? That being said, Shoe Dog is a great story because Nike wasn't doing very well for a long time. And it is a long story, and it takes you through the ups and the downs and the pains and the gut punches and the wins and the victories and the horrific things that happen and the great things that happen. And it takes you on this roller coaster of life, because we look at Nike now, we look at Microsoft, we look at Apple, and we see what they've become, but we weren't there for how they got there. And hearing the stories of the struggles and the resilience that it took to be able to build a brand like that is so inspiring, especially if you are building a brand, especially if you are starting a company, because it's gonna show you, man, you're gonna fall off like 100 times, right? And it's all about how you redo it. Like when you read this story, you're gonna be like, Nike shouldn't have happened. Like they should have gone bankrupt. They should have like done so many crazy freaking things happened. And the resilience that it took from Phil and his team is honestly unbelievable. And it is a great read, okay? So that's not like, these are like practical, tactical business advice. That's more of a story. It's a great story. Same thing with Becoming. So Becoming and Shoe Dog are going to be great stories. So those are my top 5 books for all female entrepreneurs, and then my bonus of Phil Knight's Shoe Dog. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I know it's totally different than anything I've ever done before. If you enjoyed it, if you didn't enjoy it, leave me a comment down below and let me know all of your thoughts. Subscribe to my channel up here. And I'm also going to link all of the books down below, as well as over on my blog at barelykeepingittogether.com. Otherwise, I will talk to you guys later. Bye!